Trump is living rent-free in these people's minds. Hey folks, we have some good news today. Parler is finally back online. I think I'm going to be done with Twitter. Not that I used it that much or Parler that much, but I need to change my end card because I just don't even want to support these people. Like, I'm done. Need to hashtag cancel Twitter. Before I get into the rest of the video, though, I have to thank Dave C. really quick. Oh my gosh, my dog just walked through. Thank you, Dave C., for your continued support. Nancy Pelosi has embarrassed herself yet again, making President Donald J. Trump the most acquitted president in United States history. Oh my gosh, she just did it again. Stop it, Logan. Lay down. Give me my sock. Oh, Logan, where was I? Where was I? Get this done today. I wasn't happy with President Trump's legal team at first, but man, they brought it home so hard. It was fantastic. The Democrats, all they had to do if they wanted to prove incitement, it would have been so simple. The only thing they had to do was to play a clip of President Trump saying, "Hey, everybody, go burn the building down." But they didn't play it. And you know why? Because it never happened, because he didn't incite anything. Instead, the lawyers came out and played his actual words and showed how the Democrat had manufactured evidence and taken things that he said out of context, which was, you know, hey, we know that they do this and we've been watching this for a long time, but they had to sit there and swallow listening to his real words, which were telling the people to march peacefully, or to peacefully and patriotically make their voices heard. Man, after this montage, and this is why I'm going to play my other video in full. So yesterday I only played the little end snippet because I tried out some new characters and I didn't really like how that worked. But in that video, I put together a montage of what I think were some of the best moments from the impeachment hearing. So that's why I'm going to put that video at the end of this video after I talk about a couple of other things real quick, so you can see those clips and those moments, because they are grand and they are glorious and they are fantastic. And the best part is at the end, Jamie Raskin, the Democrats, one of their impeachment managers, he comes out. The mic has been dropped on him so hard. He comes out and he says, "They did nothing but lie. But me, being a man of great character, I shall resist the urge to refute what they said." And I'm like, come on, man. That's the best you can come up with. The mic was dropped. They left you speechless. So speechless. You didn't even try. It was so awesome watching these people just flounder around like fish, like fish out of water. Oh, it was beautiful, wonderful, glorious, fabulous. Oh, I loved it so much.
Senators, I understand, I'm told we have around 27 minutes, but I will return all of that, but perhaps 5 back to you. There's just a few things that I need to address. And so in an extraordinary and perhaps unprecedented act of self-restraint on my part, I will resist the opportunity to rebut every single false and illogical thing that you just heard. And I am going to be able to return to you, perhaps 22 or 23 minutes.
Guys, his closing statement was basically, we lost. I'm not even gonna bother trying to say anything. Let me just wrap this up early. Maybe I can get home and I'll have enough time to watch Cuties on Netflix before I go to bed. That's their closing argument. Done. So done with these fools. Now that President Trump is the most acquitted president in United States history, the New York Times felt like it was time then to come out and say, oh, hey, guess what? A Capitol police officer Brian Sicknick, oh, he wasn't actually killed by a Trump supporter with a fire extinguisher, which if you saw my other video on Rumble, you already knew about this because his own brother reported that he had been only pepper sprayed and was fine. And then the family said that he had a blood clot and a stroke, which was tragic. But the fake news just made up this completely and utterly garbage story. And of course, liberal Hollywood, they were all torn up about this. And I did enjoy watching the tears roll. They basically all had the same response, which was... Yeah, that just never gets old. All right, now I'm going to play my video. Just make sure you skip past all the weird stuff and go to the timestamp. And if you want to see what I thought were some of the best moments and the highlights from the impeachment hearing. Welcome to Left Field, hosted by me, Molly Cottle. Right now, I'm just trying to piece together how we lost another impeachment. We had a really solid case. We said the word racism at least 567 times. And we said orange man bad. We said riots are bad. It's just in. Riots are good again. We did everything short of actually just showing a clip of President Trump telling people to go burn down the Capitol. Now, all the phobolicious phobophobes are saying that there were several mic drop moments on the Trump side, but anyone using the term mic drop is racist because everybody already knows that microphones look like black men with afros. So the act of mic dropping is literally throwing black men on the ground like they're trash, which of course is the ultimate act of white privilege, okay?
Manager Raskin is seen here at his desk reviewing two tweets side by side. The image on his screen claims to show that President Trump had retweeted one of those tweets. Now, members of the Senate, let's look closely at this screen, because obviously Manager Raskin considered it important enough that he invited the New York Times to watch him watching it. Now, what's wrong with this image? Actually, there are three things very wrong with it. Look at the date on the very bottom of the screen on Manager Raskin's computer screen when we zoom in to the picture. The date that appears is January 3rd, 2020, not 2021. Why is that date wrong? Because this is not a real screenshot that he's working with. This is a recreation of a tweet, and you got the date wrong when you manufactured this graphic. You did not disclose that this is a manufactured graphic and not a real screenshot of a tweet. Now, to be fair, the House managers caught this error before showing the image on the Senate floor, so you never saw it when it was presented to you. But that's not all. They didn't fix this one. Look at the blue check mark next to the Twitter username of the account retweeted by the president. It indicates that this is a verified account, given the blue check by Twitter to indicate it is run by a public figure. The problem? The user's real account is not verified and has no blue check mark, as you can see. Were you trying to make her account seem more significant, or were you just sloppy? If we had due process of law in this case, we would know the truth. But that's not all that's wrong with this one tweet. House Manager Swalwell showed you this tweet this week, and he emphasized that this tweet reflected a call to arms. He told you repeatedly that this was a promise to call in the cavalry for January 6th. He expressly led you to believe that President Trump's supporter believed that the president wanted armed supporters at the January 6th speech, paramilitary groups, the cavalry, ready for physical combat. The problem is, the actual text is exactly the opposite. The tweeter promised to bring the Calvary, a public display of Christ's crucifixion, a central symbol of her Christian faith. with her to the president's speech, a symbol of faith, love, and peace. They just never want to seem to read the text and believe what the text means.
Do you see what Jennifer Lynn Lawrence is trying to do? She wants you to believe that when she said she was bringing the spirit of Jesus with her and then followed through by holding a giant prayer vigil, that when she said that, she actually meant what she said. But I'm not falling for it, okay? She didn't actually mean what she said, and I can prove that by changing the word she actually said and replacing it with a word she didn't say. Then and only then can you read her comment in its proper context, which is, of course, a very obvious call for violence.
You'll see this reported in the media last evening also. Words matter, they told you. But they selectively edited the president's words over and over again. They manipulated video, time-shifting clips, and made it appear the president's words were playing to a crowd when they weren't. Let's take a look.
After this, we're going to walk down, and I'll be there with you. We're going to walk down. We're going to walk down to the Capitol. But I think right here, we're going to walk down to the Capitol. And we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women. And we're probably not going to be cheering so much for some of them. Because you'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength, and you have to be strong. We have come to demand that Congress do the right thing and only count the electors who have been lawfully slated. Lawfully slated. I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
And we are going to walk down to the Capitol. They showed you that part. Why are we walking to the Capitol? Well, they cut that off. To cheer on some members of Congress, and not others, peacefully and patriotically. The Supreme Court ruled in Brandenburg that there's a very clear standard for incitement. In short, to paraphrase, whether the speech was intended to provoke imminent lawless action, and was it likely to do so. Go to the Capitol and cheer on some members of Congress, but not others. They know it doesn't meet the standard for incitement, so they edited it down. We heard a lot this week about fight like hell, but they cut off the video before they showed you the president's optimistic, patriotic words that followed immediately after.
We fight like hell, and if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore. Our exciting adventures and boldest endeavors have not yet begun. My fellow Americans, for our movement, for our children, and for our beloved country. And I say this, despite all that's happened, the best is yet to come.
There's that famous quote, like one of the House managers said, "A lie will travel halfway around the world before the truth has a chance to put its shoes on." Well, this lie traveled around the world a few times, made its way into the Biden campaign talking points, and ended up on the Senate floor. The Charlottesville lie. Very fine people on both sides, except that isn't all he said. And they knew it then, and they know it now. Watch this.
But you also had people that were very fine people on both sides. You had people in that group, excuse me, I saw the same pictures as you did. You had people in that group that were there to protest the taking down of, to them, a very, very important statue and the renaming of a park from Robert E. Lee to another name. And you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. But you had many people in that group other than neo-Nazis and white nationalists, okay? And the press has treated them absolutely unfairly.
This might be today the first time the news networks played those full remarks in their context. And how many times have you heard that President Trump has never denounced white supremacists? Now you in America know the truth. Here's another example. One of the House managers made much of the president's supposedly ominous words of, "You have to get your people to fight." But you knew what the president really meant. He meant that the crowd should demand action from members of Congress and support primary challenges to those who don't do what he considered to be right. Support primary challenges, not violent action. I know what he meant because I watched the full video, and so did the House managers, but they manipulated his words. You will see where they stopped it, and to give it a very different meaning from the meaning it has in full context. Let's watch.
You have to get your people to fight. He told them.
You have to get your people to fight. And if they don't fight, we have to primary the hell out of the ones that don't fight. You primary them, we're gonna let you know who they are. I can already tell you, frankly.
The House managers spoke about rhetoric, about a constant drumbeat of heated language. Well, as I'm sure everyone watching expected, we need to show you some of their own words.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country. Maybe there will be.
There needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
You got to be ready to throw a punch. You have to be ready to throw a punch.
Donald Trump, I think you need to go back and punch him in the face.
That I thought he should have punched him in the face.
Feel like punching him.
I'd like to take him behind the gym if I were in high school.
If we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
No, I wish we were in high school. I could take him behind the gym.
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
Take him out now.
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
And you push back on them, and you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
Please, get up in the face of some Congress people.
People will do what they do.
I want to tell you, Gorsuch, I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price.
We're going to go in there, we're going to...
Well, this is just a warning to you Trumpers. Be careful. Walk lightly. And for those of you who are soldiers, make them pay.
If you had to be stuck in an elevator with either President Trump, Mike Pence, or Jeff Sessions, who would it be?
Does one of us have to come out alive?
And there's more.
We need to say loud and clear that we are ready to fight.
It's a bare knuckles fight.
Now they're going to have to actually fight back against people.
The fight has to be conducted.
It's so important that we need to fight.
Fight that fight.
We have been fighting.
I was fighting very hard. Time is of the essence, both in terms of the fight.
I think we should be fighting.
Well, I really believe we need to fight.
We're simply not going to take this line down. We're going to keep fighting.
So I'm telling all my colleagues, this is the fight of our life.
Whose side are you on? Who are you fighting for?
They're fighting, or I'm fighting. We're both fighting.
We will fight back. We're not going to just take this line down.
I'm just going to keep the fight up.
What we have to do right now is fight as hard as we can.
We have to rise up and fight back.
And so we're going to fight, and we're going to continue to fight.
I am going to be fighting like hell.
Keep fighting, or we kept fighting and we did. So we're going to keep fighting.
We have to be fighting every single day.
We have to fight back, and we have no choice but to do that. I think we're doing the right thing to do that.
Fighting.
And I'm fighting.
Well, our job right now is to fight.
It's really important. I'm going to keep fighting.
I'm asking for the support of people across the country to fight back.
And you got to be fierce in fighting.
Keep fighting.
Brown have been fighting.
I've told President Biden I will fight like mad.
I'll tell you what. Now, more than ever, we have to fight like hell.
We have these battles on the floor of the Senate. I'm going to go down and battle, and I'm going to be down there on the floor fighting.
Right. But we Democrats are fighting as hard as we can. Democrats are fighting as hard as we can. Credit it in any way, but we're fighting back.
What we've got to do is fight in Congress, fight in the courts, fight in the streets, fight online, fight at the ballot box.
Fighting and pushing around the clock, fighting, continue to be brave and be strong and keep fighting. We're getting people engaged in the fight. We're fighting. We've got to keep fighting and keep focused. Continue to fight.
Fight.
This is going to be a fight.
We'll also fight him and challenge him in every way that we can, in the Congress, in the courts, and in the streets.
To continue fighting, we each have an important role to play in fighting. In this fight, like so many before it, it has been a fight. The American people are going to have to fight. And about the importance of fighting, I will always fight. Fighting. But we always must fight. Joe Biden has a deep, deep-seated commitment to fight and to fight. And about the importance of fighting, but we always must fight, to fight, to fight, and to fight. As our willingness to fight continued the fight, as Joe Biden says, to fight. It's about fighting what we're fighting for. We will tell them about what we did to fight. Really about a fight. But truly, I do believe that we're in a fight. I believe that we are in a fight. I believe we are in a fight. I believe we are in a fight. So there's a fight in front of us, a fight for all of these things. And so we're prepared to fight for that. We know how to fight. Our ongoing fight, a fight. We know how to fight. We like a good fight. We were born out of a fight. This is what is our fight right now.
There's the fight, there's the fight, there's the fight, and then there's the fight to defend. Back in the fight.
Our mission is to fight. That is the guiding purpose of House Democrats, fighting. He has never forgotten who he is fighting for. Marched and fought.
And we just have to fight. But this is a fight for our country.
Fighting the health crisis of COVID.
I led the fight and continue to fight. Never, never, never give up this fight. I'm a citizen fighting for it. It means not only fighting a leader who fought for progressive change, as a lawyer who fought for people his whole life, as well as other fights, and I'm proud that to have Tim in this fight with me. And above all, it's time for America to get back up and once again fight.
We will fight when we must fight.
What kind of America are we fighting for? We've been fighting, so we need to fight, but we also need to fight for an America.
I am going to wake up every day and fight hard. I have been fighting. We're gonna fight. We are gonna fight. We're gonna fight. We're gonna fight. And I will fight.
We're in the fight of our lives right now.
We fight like hell.
To fight.
To fight.
Fight against the Trump administration. Democrats are standing up to fight.
We're in this fight in a serious way.
It's your fight.
We're eager to take on this fight. Get in this fight and we'll fight it out. I have taken on the fight.
As representatives for the people, as legislators here in the halls of Congress, our job is to fight.
Who has led us in this fight.
Is to fight for this fight.
And every day I'm in the United States Senate, I will fight.
And one of the things we do is fight, should fight.
Because my constituents send me here each and every day to fight.
We have been fighting this fight, and we need to be side by side so we can succeed. And so I hope that you will all join us in our fight. And if we fight, and as the next governor of Georgia, I will never stop fighting. We can show the old guard something new, and we can fight.
My fight, those fights need to fight an administration.
Requiring us to fight, and fight we will. Their fight. In their fight, in their fight. The fight is a fight, and so when we fight the fight that we are in, when we are fighting this fight, we fight this fight. The strength of who we are is we will fight, and we will fight, we will fight the fight, we will fight, we are in a fight, the fight, 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 it is a fight, and it is a fight born out of patriotism. This is a fight, fighting, I say fight on, fight on, fight on, fight on.
I'm here to say one more time in publicly, this is not a fight I wanted to take on, but this is the fight in front of us now.
Every single one of you and every one of you. That's okay. You didn't do anything wrong. It's a word people use. But please stop the hypocrisy. And did you tone down the rhetoric last summer when all of this was happening? Did you condemn the rioters? Or did you stand with Nancy Pelosi, who said, people are going to do what they're going to do?
This is a movement, I'm telling you. They're not going to stop. And everyone beware, because they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after.
And please, show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country. Maybe there will be.
night in St. Louis. They shot and killed David in cold blood.
Destroying property which can be replaced is not violent.
This is an apartment complex on fire.
And it just collapsed. The building just collapsed.
I have nowhere to go now. These people did this for no reason.
This is just a snapshot of some of the damage that people will be waking up to.
Going up, but police clearly...
I'm proud of New York, and I'm proud of the protests.
There is damage everywhere you look. Honestly, it looks like a war zone.
Heartwarming to see so many people turn out peacefully.
They keep doing it day after day after day. In fact, our country is a nation of protests. The Patriots were protesters.
St. John's Church is on fire.
Do you disavow the violence from Antifa? That's a myth.
I hope someone burns down your whole precinct with all y'all inside.
It is not, generally speaking, unruly.
And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
They're not going to let up, and they should not.
You claim that it's wrong to object to the certification of election results. You, along with your allies in the media, attempted to cancel and censor members of this chamber who voiced concerns and objected to certification. Manager Raskin, you'd been in Congress only 3 days when you objected in 2017. It's one of the first things you did when you got here.
I have an objection because 10 of the 29 electoral votes cast by Florida were cast by electors not lawfully certified.
Is the objection in writing and signed not only by the member of the House of Representatives, but also by a senator?
It is in writing, Mr. President.
Is it signed by a senator?
Not as of yet, Mr. President.
In that case, the objection cannot be entertained.
Mr. President, I object to the certificate from the state of Georgia on the grounds that the electoral votes were not...
No debate. There's no debate.
And I object to a certificate from the state of North Carolina based on violations of the Voting Rights Act.
There's no debate in the joint session.
I object because people are horrified by the overwhelming evidence.
Section 18, Title 3 of the United States Code prohibits debate.
I object. Objected to the counting of the electoral votes of the state of Ohio.
I object to the certificate from the state of Alabama. The electors were not lawfully certified.
I object to the 15 votes from the state of North Carolina because of the massive voter suppression and the closing of polling booths.
There is no debate. There is no debate.
16
There's
to 1,
no debate.
And the massive voter suppression that occurred to African Americans.
The gentleman will suspend.
I have an objection to the electoral votes.
The objection is in writing, and I don't care that it is not signed by a member of the Senate. I do not wish to debate. I wish to ask, is there one United States senator who will join me in this letter of objection?
There is no debate.
And when the House managers realized that the president's actual words could not have incited the riot, as you alleged in your article of impeachment, you attempted to pivot. You said that raising the issue of election security and casting doubt on the propriety of our elections was dangerous. Claiming an election was stolen or not legitimate is something that a candidate should never do because he or she knows or should know that such a claim and such words can actually incite violent insurrection, you were told.
If Stacey Abrams doesn't win in Georgia, they stole it. It's clear. It's clear. And I say that publicly, it's clear.
You can run the best campaign. You can even become the nominee. And you can have the election stolen from you.
He knows he's an illegitimate president. He knows that there were a bunch of different reasons why the election turned out the way it did.
Votes remain to be counted. There are voices that were waiting to be heard.
And I will not concede.
And I respect where you're coming from, and I respect the issues that you're raising. You're not answering the question. Do you think it was... You're not using the word legitimate.
There are still legitimate concerns over the integrity of our elections and of ensuring the principle of one person, one vote.
I agree with tens of millions of Americans who are very worried that when they cast the ballot on an electronic voting machine, that there is no paper trail to record that vote.
But constantly shifting vote tallies in Ohio and malfunctioning electronic machines which may not have paper receipts have led to additional loss of confidence by the public. This is their only opportunity to have this debate while the country is listening, and it is appropriate to do so.
People are acting like us getting caught doctoring evidence is actually gonna cement people's beliefs that we stole a 2020 elephant. Because if we are willing to obviously cheat in a hearing involving the President of the United States of America that the whole world is watching, then like, what won't we do? Honestly, it's not like doctoring evidence is even that big of a deal, especially, you know, after Kevin Kleinsmith only got probation for manufacturing evidence against the Trump team. So, like, we could like totally spy on them. He still has his law license and everything. Hey, by the way, have we gotten rid of Lynn Wood's law license yet? Because he was questioning our integrity? In reality, Trump's lawyer did such a bad job, wasn't even necessary to refute any of his points.
So in an extraordinary and perhaps unprecedented act of self-restraint on my part, I will resist the opportunity to rebut every single false and illogical thing that you just heard, and I am going to be able to return to you, perhaps 22 or 23 minutes.
You don't have to refute facts when you can talk about racism instead.
See, I knew Julian Bond, so forgive me. Most people say, don't even respond to this stuff. I got to respond to this, okay? Julian Bond was a civil rights activist.
So like epic winning strategy. Now we take you to special correspondent Grant Tifa, who is live right now with Hunter Biden and Eric Swallower Well. Grant Tifa sad. Grant Tifa is supposed to interview Hunter Biden and Eric Swallower Well. But they went into building behind Grantifa. But it's okay. Grantifa has hammer, and Grantifa can use hammer to smash windows, break windows, to make Eric Swallower well and Hunter Biden come out. I understand that you're Granti-fascist, meaning that you granted yourself the ability to act like a fascist and break things anytime you want. Grantifa could set the building on fire! Grantifa, you don't have to burn the building down, because the way I see it is that, like, at least some of us Democrats got a happy ending today.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and please share it. You can help us continue to fight in the war against disinformation by donating at paypal.me/rightleftofcenter. I'm River Wright from Right Left of Center, and if you're watching, you're probably right too.